What's up, everyone? And today I'm bringing a deck profile on my Sylvans. Now, Sylvans is a very interesting archetype, considering it was the first archetype to actually kind of like introduce the excavating mechanic. As the Sylvans basically, they excavate and send their monsters from their deck to the grave, and they get effects when they are sent. So before we get into this video, I just want to remind you to subscribe, because most of you watching this video, pretty much 90%, are not subscribed. And let's fix that. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Firstly, I run 3 Sylvan Cherub Sprout. Cherub Sprout, when this card is special summoned, you choose 1 or 2, then excavate that many cards from the top of your deck. Send any excavated plant type monsters to the graveyard. Also place the other cards on the bottom of your deck in any order. And this card is excavated from the deck and sent to the graveyard by a card effect. You can special summon one level 1 plant type monster from your deck. So it can basically special your Peacekeeper, Princess Sprout. Like, you have a lot of level 1s in this deck. I run 2 Sylvan Peacekeeper. Sylvan's Peacekeeper, when it is normal special summon, you can excavate the top card of your deck. If it is a plant type monster, send it to the graveyard and place the remaining on the bottom of your deck. Now, if this card is excavated from the deck to the graveyard, you can target one level 4 lower plant type monster in your graveyard, special summon that target. Next, I run the 2 Princess Sprout. This was a little bit different. If you activate you can activate each effect once per turn. You contribute this card, activate the top card of your deck, and if it is sent to the graveyard, then you can place 1 Sprout monster from your graveyard on top of your deck. If this card is activated from the deck and sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can declare a level from 1 to 8. Special summon this card from your graveyard. If you do, it becomes that level. So this allows you essentially to go into like higher XD plays. Before we get any further, I just actually want to say it's a 3 Peacekeeper. I thought I had a third one, and it was stuck to the extract, so it's actually 3 Peacekeeper. I also run 1 Sylvan. I'm probably going to butcher the name because it's got a really weird name. Snapdrasinagon. I think it has a really, obviously you can see it has a really long name. Anyways, if this card is sent from the field or hand to the graveyard, you excavate the top card of your deck, and if it is a plant type monster, send it to your graveyard. Otherwise, place it on the bottom of your deck. And next, this card is excavated from the deck and sent to the graveyard by a card effect. You can excavate the top card of your deck, and if it is a plant type monster, send to the graveyard. Otherwise, place it on the bottom of your deck. That one comes up, I guess, like a bit more kind of fringely. I run the 3 Sylvan Flower Knight. Flower Knight, when it's normal summoned, you can excavate the top card of your deck. And like the others, if it is a plant, send to the graveyard, or place it on the bottom of the deck. If this card is excavated from the deck and sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can choose 1 Sylvan card from your deck and place it on top of your deck. So it kind of like allows you to basically stack the top of your deck. I run the 2 Sylvan Lotus Wing. Once per turn, you can excavate a number of cards from the top of your deck equal to the number of cards your opponent controls. Send any activated plant type monster to the grave. Also, place the other cards on the bottom of your deck in any order. If this card is activated from the deck and sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can target up to 5 Sylvan cards in your graveyard. Place them on the bottom of your deck in any order. So it's kind of like a little bit of recursion. I run the 1 Sylvan Hermitry. Once per turn, you can activate the top card of your deck, choose a plant, send it, all that. All of this one has an additional effect that when you do this, you can draw 1 card. So there's a little bit more advantage to using it with this one than it is the others. Now, if this card is activated from the deck, sent to the graveyard by a card effect, look at the top 3 from your deck, then place them on top of your deck in any order. So kind of like the Flower Knight, but I guess more like basically choose the top 3 rather than any from your deck. So I guess like not quite as powerful, which is why I only run it 1. One thing I noticed, the higher level Sylvans are actually worse than the lower levels. Minus the next one, in which I run 3 Sylvan Sacagawea. When a Sylvan monster is sent to the graveyard except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. Once per turn, you can excavate the top card of your deck, and if it is a plant monster, excavate it and place it on the bottom of your deck, otherwise excavate it and send it to the graveyard, otherwise place it on the bottom of your deck. And if this card was excavated from the deck and sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you target 1 Sylvan spell trap card in your graveyard, add that target to your hand. So this can add your Sylvan spell and traps from your graveyard to your hand. You mainly want it for the hand effect to special summon itself, more or less, because we don't really run many of the Sylvan spells and traps. Next, I run 3 Lone Fire Blossom. Lone Fire Blossom, easily the best plant monster in the entirety of the game. Once per turn, treat a face-up plant monster. Special summon 1 plant from the deck. Now, I don't run Evil Thorn with this because I just feel like Evil Sworn just doesn't really quite work in this deck. So I'm not really going like the full. I am running Pot of Avarice, but I don't really feel like we need the Evil Swarm to kind of build up Pot of Avarice because we're already excavating. I also run the 3 Ash Blossom and Joy Spring for my hand trap of choice. And I also run the Dark Magician and the Red Eyes Black Dragon for the Dragoon plays. Moving on to the spells. I run the 3 Sylvan Charity. Sylvan Charity can draw 3 cards, and if you have a Sylvan card in your hand, reveal 2 cards from your hand, including at least 1 Sylvan card, then place them on the top of the deck in any order. Otherwise, reveal your entire hand, then place it on the top of the deck in any order. So it's pretty much always going to be a +1 at least if you draw a Sylvan card, which should be pretty easy. Next, I run 3 Pot of Avarice. This is a deck where you do a lot of excavating, so you can build up your grave pretty quickly. So running Pot of Avarice and having a more draw power and combined with the Sylvan Charity just really makes things go that much smoother. I also run 3 Double Summon. I guess that's like one I kind of added in last minute. I mean, it's because in practice, I kept running into situations where I'd want to normal summon twice. Because while there is a lot of excavating, the special summon, they don't do a whole lot of special summoning. So that's why I run the double summon to kind of help make up for that drawback. I run the one for one, because you run a bunch of little ones. I run the 1 Reasoning. Reasoning is very powerful in this deck, considering it is excavating and sending it to the grave by a card effect. So it can literally trigger off any of your Sylvan card effects. I also run the 1 Red Eyes Fusion for the Dragoon plays. Moving on to the traps, I run 2 Sylvan's Blessing. Sylvan Blessing, you can place 1 card from either the top or bottom of the deck from your hand. Sylvan Blessing, you can place 1 card from your hand on either the top or the bottom of the deck. And if you do, special summon 1 Sylvan monster from your hand or graveyard. It is unaffected by other card effects this turn and place it on either the top or the bottom of the deck during the end phase. Moving on to the extra deck. I run 1 Aurea, the Sylvan High Arbiter. Once per turn, you can send 1 plant type monster from your hand or face up from your side of the field to the graveyard. Look at a number of cards from the top of your deck equal to the level of the monster you sent to the grave. Then place them on top of the deck in any order. Once per turn, detach 1 material from this card. Choose a number from 1 to 3. Activate that many cards from your top of your deck and send any activated plant type monsters to the grave. And if you do, return up to that many cards on the field to the hand, except this card. Also place the other cards on the bottom of your deck in any order. So this thing, it does a lot. Granted, it is very hard to go into, so that's why I only run it at 1. Now, that's not the only rank 7 I run, as you'll see later. I also run the 1 Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon. Just another really good rank 7 monster. Next, I run the 1 Lurlusk Assembled Nightingale, a Downer Magician, and of course, the Zeus. Now, Assembled Nightingale works with this deck because you run a bunch of level 1, and Nightingale, it just requires 2 level 1 monsters, or 2 or more level 1 monsters. So if you have, let's say, 5 level 1 monsters on the field, well, that Zeus is going to be a big problem. I also run the 1 Red Eyes Dark Dragoon for the Dragoon plays. I run 2 Aromas Fairy Jasmine. I feel like you got to run that in any plant-based deck because it's the best plant link in the game. I guess at least at the recording of this video, because by the time this video comes out, Bee Troopers will be out, so they probably won't be the best. Or no, wait, never mind. That's for insects. Yeah, this is the best plant link. I also run the 1 Link Rebo, just a very good monster that you can use level 1s for. I run IP Masquerena and a Nightmare Phoenix to go along with it. The 1 Vertanaconda. I run a Bang Helancer, the Resurgent. One of the newer Link 4s coming out in Lightning Overdrive, as well as an Appaloosa and an access code to round out the extra deck. Now, what do you think of Sylvan? Do you think it's a pretty cool archetype? Do you think you could definitely use some more support? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.